Michiko Hatchin, episode 13, Goldfish of the Marsh. This is a pretty cool episode because it really focused on Atsuko and her relationship with Michiko when they were younger and how she, we got to see the moment where she realized, I need to change my life, basically. I need to step away from the path that I'm on. Otherwise, I'm going to end up like Michiko, which I don't think is a good thing. So I like this episode. It's very surprising to get an episode that really does focus on another character. And even though we had the episode before that really did focus a lot on Satoshi, this one really was all Atsuko. Like all the only stuff that even had Michiko in it was flashback stuff. It wasn't even the present timeline stuff. So it was actually really cool. We got to see Atsuko kind of go through this weird moment in her life after kind of being demoted and sent to this random town where she's. The first scene had to be so confused when she's like swinging through the jungle and stuff. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I was so confused. I thought that was like a dream sequence, honestly. I thought she was imagining what would happen, but she was actually like just swinging through. A snake falls on her head and stuff like that. Just craziness. And I loved it. I thought it was pretty funny, the opening scene, and then it was her being trapped in this tiny, itty bitty little town. Nothing's really happening, chasing monkeys down. And then she has an interaction with this little girl who, well, I can't say little, but a young girl who reminds her of Michiko and herself a little bit as well. She's kind of a mixture of the two, just on her own after her father passed away. And it was fun to watch. I liked it. She got to talk to this girl and she was kind of trying to help her because she reminded her a lot of Michiko when she first met her, and it's like she wants to help her. And of course, the stuff with Michiko, her loving a guy who's gone, a slightly different circumstance, of course, but it was just very similar. And she's trying to help this girl, and then she wants to go. The girl wants to go and get this golden pot and be super rich, and she's like, I'll help make you super famous and stuff. You be even more super famous and we'll get this pot and everything. And they have just a weird little bond. She's just helping this girl really try to achieve her dreams and do something and change, just like she was trying to change when she was younger. And that's the part that kind of reminds her of herself when she was younger. She was trying to change so that she wouldn't end up like Michiko, which of course she did. We don't really see how that happens, but obviously eventually she becomes a cop, so very different. And I like seeing this relationship between these two characters that we have Michiko and Michiko and Atsuko, and then this one girl is kind of a mixture of the two, where she has certain personalities of Michiko, like robbing the store in general is kind of a Michiko thing, and then wanting to or needing to do that because she wants to change her life and get rich and just go and live and love. That's the part where she's like Atsuko. She just wants to be happy and not have just a crazy sort of messed up life. And I thought that was kind of cool. It was very subtle. It wasn't like super played up or anything. It was just like, here's some similarities through flashbacks and dialogue, and you could just see it, and that's all there was to it. And I liked that. And then we had, of course, the ending of the episode where they go into like the secret area and stuff, and it was cool. I thought they were really gonna find it. I was kind of hoping they would, and they'll just be interesting. Or even if they didn't, they at least went to the end and found out it really wasn't there or something. Like it wasn't actually golden. It was just a pot or something, and they just called it that. It was just painted, gold or whatever. But instead, they really go into like this crazy tunnel that somehow has a gas buildup. I don't know how that happens, but their gas is down there, and they go in. They both almost die. When Atsuko goes past the girl after they have their argument, I was surprised when she was going and she was about to pass out, and then we see a dead body on the ground, and I was like, "Holy crap! This is like actually almost there." And I thought she really that at that point I kind of also thought maybe she will keep going and she'll actually find it. And also in my head at the same time, I was like, they aren't about to kill her off, are they? So fortunately, she doesn't die. But there was a body there, and then there was a second body which they didn't do much of a focus on. But there was another body in the water as well. So people did get that far, and possibly her father knew where things were. They mentioned that he basically died in the river. So I don't know if that was him during his search for the golden pot, or if that just something like a monsoon or something random happened, but he died. And so these two guys were there, and they still had like flesh on them, so I feel like they would have been with him. It wasn't like they were just complete skeletons, so that could have been a year ago when they died. But it was interesting. I was surprised when I saw that. I was like, oh, there are actual dead bodies out here. People have been here before and have died from the gas buildup. They've passed out, and then you don't wake up from that. But fortunately, they were both there, and the girl saved Atsuko after she passed out. And it's like, well, I didn't find it, but I'm going to get out of town, and I'm going to live my life the way I want to for this young girl. And Atsuko decides to do the same after finding the newspaper piece that has the TV show on it, and she thought it was Hiroshi, so maybe it really is. Because I just kind of chalked it up to, oh, it's just another guy that looks like Hiroshi, which, we've had that happen before, and it wasn't him. It's just some blonde dude. And also, Michiko was like having like a fever dream, so it was also kind of like, oh, well, she's seeing this guy, and she's kind of seeing more of Hiroshi because she's having this crazy fever dream, and she's not 100% in her right mind, so she's so convinced that it's him because she's sick. But even when Atsuko saw it, she ripped it out, and it's like, this is where we're going, because this is Hiroshi, so I guess he's a movie star at this point. I don't know, maybe she'll actually meet him in person, and it really won't be Hiroshi, but considering what they did in this episode, I'm kind of taking it back now, like, oh, this wasn't just another guy that looks like Hiroshi to Michiko like we've seen before. This is actually going to end up being Hiroshi, so that has me pretty excited. I'm sure it won't happen in the very next episode. I'm sure, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait probably a full month, like maybe 3 or 4 more episodes before that kind of comes back around and they actually run into each other, Michiko and Atsuko. But it was cool to see that, because if Atsuko did it, then it's like, well, it's officially Hiroshi, and she knows, like, well, we're gonna go find this guy, because then we'll of course find Michiko. It'll help me put myself back on top of things, and I'll be back where I want to be in life. So it has me pretty excited. I thought it was pretty sweet that happened in the episode. It gave kind of full confirmation, which is really my favorite part. But I'm looking forward to it now. Like I said, probably episodes from now, not going to be the next one, but I thought this was a good episode. It was a surprising focus on Atsuko, who I thought early on that we might have an episode about her, but we're kind of at the halfway point. I think they're like 23 or 22 episodes, something like that. So we're a little bit past it, that episode 12, but really cool. It was a good episode. I'm really excited because of the whole Hiroshi thing. It kind of gives full confirmation instead of it just being like, oh, it's Michiko being, almost doped up with her being on like this crazy fever dream and stuff, or in this crazy fever dream. But now it's like confirmation, so it has me more excited. But I want to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And of course, the main question for this episode is what you guys thought about a focus on the sub-character. We get to learn another portion of Atsuko's character. We got to learn that kind of the reason she became a cop is because she didn't want to be like Michiko. She wanted to be a little bit different. She wanted to be better, and she wanted to be good, pretty much. So I enjoyed it. Like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about it. So comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.